Hello and welcome to my channel. So today I'm out along the Grand Union Canal in Milton Keynes. This is not far from home. Now I brought the Canon M50 Mark II with me as usual, and I've decided today to put the manual lens on, a 50mm. The make is Meike. Now apparently that's how you pronounce it, and it's made up of two words, Meike, meaning beautiful technology in Chinese, apparently. Please correct me if I'm wrong, make some comments below. So it's a Meike 50mm manual lens. Now I've been out before with this doing some street photography, and I loved it for street photography. I've got two or three manual lenses which I do like. What I tend to do for street photography is set the focus to what you call zone focusing, so that as long as your subjects are within that zone, then you can just fire away. So you're not worried about focusing. You've got your aperture is adjusted with this ring on here. So I've got this on f8 for example at the moment. Then I've set my ISO to automatic at the moment. I might change that. The sun's coming out, so I might just put it on 100. It's a 50mm lens, so the rule tends to be that you want a shutter speed of sort of double the focal length. Well, what I tend to do is multiply by 1.6 so that we get a full frame equivalent. So that gives us 50 multiplied by 1.6 gives us 80, and then I just double 80, gives me 160. So I don't really want a shutter speed below 160. So this one I've set it to 320 at the moment, because I'm handheld and it just helps me get that shot a bit sharper. Now from the focusing point of view for landscape and this type of photography as opposed to street photography, what I tend to do is use the focus ring at the front. I've got focus peaking on, so I tend to, if I just take the cap off, it does help. I tend to lift this up and then I get this as close as I can with the focus peaking, and so I've got lots of red where I want it focused. You tend to get a lot of it, so you know, not necessarily the bit that you want, or the bit you want isn't necessarily in focus. So what I then do, I have to take my glasses off for this, is then bring it up to my eye and just double check. Yep, so that looks good. But then if you press the magnifying glass on the back of this M50 Mark II, just press it a couple of times, that zooms in. Then I bring it back up to my eye and I pick a point that I really want sharp. So I'm just picking a point here and I'm just focusing. I can see some numbers on a small plaque. Get that really in focus, and now I can press the magnifying glass again so I can see the whole scene again, so I can now compose my scene knowing the bit that I actually want is in focus. Now I've got this on f8, so that gives me a slightly larger depth of field. Now I need my glasses back. This is the problem wearing glasses that need to come on and off. Now I can just point. Now I'm pointing at a bridge here with the canal going underneath. The path has a bit of a leading line with the canal coming on the left hand side. There's a couple of trees just above, and now I want to take that shot. There we go. So I want to just come back a little bit more and check the focus again because I've now moved. So let's just check that focus. There we go. And now I can press the magnifying glass again and just check the scene. So I'm going to take this one in portrait. I've got the path as a bit of a leading line with the canal on the left hand side. I've got my leveler on, so I'm waiting for the green line and then take the shot. Okay, so I've got the sun slightly over this side, so we're going into the sun a little bit. So I noticed there was a little bit of chromatic aberration in there on the first shot, so we'll just see what that comes out like in Lightroom, and it can be adjusted in Lightroom. What's the reason for getting a manual lens? I mean, you can put autofocus lenses into manual. You spend all this money on a camera that does all these fancy things, and then you go and put a manual lens on. Well, different photographers will have different reasons for doing it, to be honest. My reason is that it's just fun. I like to go out, just do something different. Obviously it's great for the channel so that you can actually see different lenses. There's a playlist for every lens. So this is the second video on the playlist for this particular lens, but I'll go out and try it on the Canon M6 as well, so that you get a variety. So I'll do that in the future. It's just fun. I've got the fisheye lens. That's really good fun. Get some absolutely excellent shots with that one. For street photography, I like the 25mm, and I like this one as well. So they're just fun. You don't have to get them, but this one, this Meike 50mm, I mean, it cost about £70. For £70 you've got a lens. Okay, the glass is not going to be as good as the lenses that you pay £500-600 for, £1,000 for, you know, but let's just have some fun. Let's go out with your camera, do something different for a change. So really good fun. So hopefully those shots have come out all right. You would have seen them by now, and we're going to move on and see what else we can find. I think I found my next subject. It's another bridge. I've only walked a little way along this canal, and you know, canals are old and bridges are old. The last one was a wooden bridge. This one's a brick built bridge, but through the bridge itself you can see a canal barge just through the arch of the bridge. So I'm going to take a picture back that way, and again we've got the manual lens, so I need to make sure it's all focused and all my settings are okay. The only thing with this lens, I must say this actually, is that the lens cover just sits on top, and you have to be careful that it just doesn't come off in your bag. It doesn't sort of clip into place, so it's the only thing with this. But you know, you get what you pay for, I suppose. So let's have a look, see what we can do. So okay, that's looking good. So what I need to do is 1, 2, press the magnifying glass twice. I'm just going to bring it up to my eye and make sure it's absolutely focused in. That's it. And press the magnifying glass again. Now we can compose and take the shot. So what I'm trying to do here is not get too much above the bridge. I'm more interested in the canal sort of leading diagonally through and then curving round to that barge in the background. We've got this on 1/250th of a second. It's on f8, just about f8 by the looks of it. Let's compose the shot, hold the camera still. So that's got quite a high ISO there, 1250, but yep, I like that. I'll just take another one, not quite lined up. This is the thing you can do with digital cameras, isn't it? You can take as many as you like. So okay, pretty happy with that shot. We'll see what it's like in Lightroom. I'm not too worried about the ISO going up too much, you can sort of deal with it in Lightroom. This camera performs pretty well at that sort of ISO, but let's just change the f-stop and let's just take the aperture down to about 2.8 and then see what that actually does to the photo. So I'll put this photo up as well for you. So let's check this one out. I'm still focused on the bridge, of course, so I don't need to change that. Compose it again. Okay, so that's about 160 ISO, but what that's done, that's most likely blurred the background a bit, so that boat in the background is probably a bit more blurry. Okay, so hopefully those shots have come out okay. We're going to move on and see what else we can get. Okay, I've found my next shot that I'd like to take, and that's of a small barge. It's like a small old home, motor home or barge home. It's this one just here. Glasses off and lens cap off. Not sure if I captured that, but there was a heron sitting on the side of the canal, and of course whenever that happens I just haven't got my zoom lens on. I've got one of the other lenses, so that's the advantage of a zoom lens, that you've got the ability just to zoom in very quickly. But I'm not out doing animal or wildlife photography anyway, but I captured it. I crept as close as I could with my camera, and I'll crop in a bit. It looks like there's a bit of chromatic aberration on it. Didn't have too much time for settings, just needed to creep close and try and get that focus and then take the shot. So we'll see what that one comes out like. Anyway, it's just a short trip today. It's good just to get out for a walk, take the camera with you, try one of your lenses out and see what sort of shots you can get. This lens, tell me what you think about it. Tell me if you've got a manual lens and if you use it on the EF-M range of cameras. As I said, I've got the Canon M50 Mark II and the Canon M6 Mark II, but let me know what you think and if you use them. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please give me the thumbs up. It does help the channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing and clicking that notification bell so that you don't miss future videos. And again, for the future, I've got a few things booked in that take me outside of not just Milton Keynes, but outside of the UK. So I look forward to those trips. They're all booked and ready. So hopefully I can get some really good street photography on some of them and landscape photography on some of the others. So look forward to seeing you in the next video.